Have you ever sent a good morning text to a woman, then just sat there, staring at the screen? No read receipt, no reply, just silence, cold as stone. You thought she didn't care. She did. She just didn't feel you, because you spoke like every other guy. But she doesn't want words. She wants weight. Most men think sending a message is enough, but when it carries no presence, it's nothing but vapor, gone in the wind. Women sense that, and they walk away. A strong man doesn't speak much. He speaks right, and at the right time. Epictetus once said, "Don't explain your philosophy, embody it." Attraction doesn't lie in word count. It lives in the depth of the man who sends them. So today, I'm not giving you a text template. I'm giving you 7 lightning bolts, each one forged in fire, carried by wind, and grounded in the silence of stone. Not to make her reply, but to make her feel you, even when you're not there. You thought good morning was just politeness? Number. It's an opportunity to steer emotion, to leave an imprint, to make her wake up with you already in her mind. And now, will you send another predictable message? Or will you let gravity pull her in? Are you ready to begin the first one? Good morning. Dreamed of you. Still wondering if it was a gift or a warning? Have you ever dreamed of someone? Not the kind that leaves you smiling when you wake up, but the kind that lingers, even after brushing your teeth, even after stepping into the day. It clings. No clear image, no name to hold on to, just something that stayed. Now picture her, early morning, phone in hand, a message from you. No sweet wishes, no emojis, no performance, just one line. Good morning. Dreamed of you. Still wondering if it was a gift or a warning. No explanation, no resolution. She's left to ask herself, what was that dream? Why her? Why the uncertainty? You didn't compliment her. You didn't flirt. You simply held up a mirror and let her look into it through your reflection. This is how a man of depth communicates. No extra words, no need to prove anything. Just the right moment, the right rhythm, and enough weight. In a world addicted to skimming, you forced her to slow down, to read again and again. First time, she smiles. Second, she frowns. Third, her mind starts questioning. You made her feel seen, but not owned. Called, but undefined. Was she special or dangerous? A gift or a warning? That's why this message can't be swiped away. Because humans are drawn to what they don't fully understand. And women, they feel depth the way birds feel wind. They don't see it, but they sense the shift. Dreams are where the self loses its armor. And when you bring her into a dream you can't make sense of, you're silently saying, "You were somewhere my logic couldn't follow." Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." A man who's awake doesn't need to explain. He knows that the right kind of ambiguity, at the right time, cuts straight into instinct. Here's what most men don't understand. They text to get a reply. You send one line, so she can't stop thinking. You don't need to sound clever, just sound real. Then let the silence that follows say the rest. And while she's still caught in a feeling without a name, you shift the rhythm, software, but it stirs something new. 2, wake up. The world is quieter without your chaos. I'm not sure I like that. Some people come into your life like morning light, software gentle, steady. They bring peace, they calm the noise. But others, they arrive like a wave, no warning, no permission. They crash in, rise high, then vanish, leaving behind sand and the things you thought you had already buried. She was that kind, not easy, not simple, but when she went silent, when the messages stopped, the arguments ended, you started to feel something was too quiet, so you send a message, not to win her back, not out of weakness, just honesty. Wake up, "The world is quieter without your chaos. I'm not sure I like that." That sentence isn't love. It isn't a mind game. It's a moment of truth between you and yourself. Because when she was there, things were messy. Words were too much. Emotions ran wild. But at least things were alive. Now, silence. Real silence. No keyboard clicks. No tension. Everything's in order again. But you're not. Have you ever met someone like that? They disrupt your world. They push your limits. You even think about walking away. But when they go quiet, you start to miss the chaos. That discomfort, it was real. And truth, when it's real, has weight. It's hard. But it isn't fake. Seneca once said, "Don't wish for things to happen the way you want. Wish for them to happen as they do. Then you'll be at peace." And you've learned that. You don't fight reality, but you don't lie to yourself either. You don't pretend to be okay. You don't force a fake smile like some cheap motivational video. You just admit she was chaos, but she was real. You don't call her an angel. You call her disruption. And that's how you know. She left a mark, not on your skin, but in your heartbeat and in the empty space each morning. It's not pretty words that keep someone. It's truth, unpolished. And women, they can feel that. They read the emotion behind every word. They know when a man is performing and when he's simply staying in the silence. You don't ask, "Are you okay?" You don't text, "Can we talk?" You just leave one sentence, like a blade. Not stabbing, not withdrawn, just stuck there, in her mind. And when she reads it, maybe she won't reply. But in her head, the question will start forming, why did I make his world quieter? And why is he unsure he likes it? Because in the end, some people don't come to bring you peace. They come to make peace feel like it's not enough anymore. The sun still rises, but is it worth watching if the one who made it meaningful isn't there to see it? 3. There's no sunrise worth watching if no one makes it worth it. Today, that person is you. Some mornings you wake up early. No reason, no motivation, no spark. Your eyes just open and don't close again. You step out onto the balcony. It's still dark, no cars, no voices. The city's still asleep, but you're not. Coffee is poured, no rush. You sit down, no agenda. Everything is still. A kind of quiet people mistake for peace. But inside, there's an echo in the emptiness. Have you felt that before? The world still moves. The light comes at its usual time. But somehow, you don't feel part of that moment. And that's when you think of her. Not out of love, not out of hope. Just because if she were here, this morning might have meant something. You write, there's no sunrise worth watching if no one makes it worth it. Today, that person is you. No drama, no poetry, just a line, like a small stone dropped in still water. Not to be seen, but because you needed to release it, to remind yourself you're still real. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "We love life not because it's always pleasant, but because there are people who make it worth living." And this morning, you admitted something quietly. She was one of those few. You're not asking for anything. You're not trying to reopen old doors. You're simply letting her know. There was a moment today that would have felt different if she were in it. Women don't need to be told they're beautiful. They need to feel that their presence matters, not to be kept, but to be remembered with weight. You don't say, "I miss you." You don't ask her to come back. You just send out a truth at the right time, in the right place, with no expectation attached. That's how a man with presence speaks. No emotional manipulation, no pressure to respond. Just a door, quietly left open, for her to walk through, or not. Maybe she reads it, then quietly moves on. But the feeling won't fade right away. It stays, like the scent of coffee lingering in your shirt all day. Because what makes someone linger in your mind isn't the perfect phrase. It's a quiet touch, right when they thought they no longer mattered. And you don't demand anything. You leave one line, then disappear, like first light. Not forcing anyone to look, but refusing to hide. The world keeps spinning. The day goes on as usual. But somewhere she might begin to wonder, why today? Why that message on this exact morning? You don't need an answer. You just need to know you didn't lie to yourself. And then, when night comes, everything repeats. Silence, but inside, not quite still. 4. Can't sleep. Too many thoughts. Most of them come back to you, uninvited. Sometimes what keeps you up at night isn't what's unfinished. It's what you thought was over. You lie down, close your eyes, turn off the lights, put your phone away, but your mind stays on. No traffic, no notifications. No one calls your name in the dark. Just an old name, returning like an uninvited guest, sitting down in the middle of your mind. No warning, no permission. You don't love her anymore. You're sure of that, but you still can't win one thing. She's the only one who can show up in your head without being called. And you write, can't sleep. Too many thoughts. Most of them come back to you, uninvited. No demands, no complaints. Just a truth, unpolished, unrehearsed. She's someone you've already removed from your life, but the mind has no lock strong enough to keep memories out. You didn't ask her to come back, but she does, because something inside you still hasn't been put down. Epictetus once said, you cannot control the world, but you can control how you think about it. You've tried to live that. You've learned to meditate. You've trained yourself not to react. You've chosen silence. You've chosen reason. But night isn't like day. Night strips your defenses. In daylight, you're strong. But in the dark, who you think of first, that's who still remains. Not because you haven't moved on, but because a part of you, the part you don't fully control, still believes this. If she still lives in your mind, then maybe you're not completely alone. No one knows what runs through you at 2 a.m. No one hears you whisper her name in the quiet of your thoughts. But you know, and that knowing is why you write. She's not the only one you've ever loved, not the only one who ever left, but she's the only one who still makes you feel present in yourself even after she's gone. You don't want her back. You're not asking for anything. You just want her to know. There was once a man on a night like this who remembered her, not out of love, but because her presence once meant something. No one misses you at this hour. There's no camera, no audience, just you, real, in the night. And in that truth, you write a message, not to make it sound pretty, just to make it real. Some nights you can't pretend. You can't be at peace. You can't be mature. You can only admit someone once mattered, and reason alone can't erase her. She might never see the message. She might read it and stay silent. But if she's deep enough, she won't feel chased. She'll feel something else. That once, someone truly saw her in a place no one else could reach. You're not apologizing for being awake. You're just telling the truth. At a moment when no one's forcing you to. Tomorrow you'll get up, you'll get dressed, you'll go to work. You'll step back into your role like nothing happened. No one will know what ran through your mind last night, and that's okay, but you'll know. A message was sent in silence, and it carried more than just words. 5. This morning, I hope it comes to you slowly, gently, like fingers brushing across skin without asking permission. There's a kind of hope that doesn't shine, it doesn't blaze, it doesn't sparkle. It's just a thin breeze passing over your skin at dawn. No one sees it, no one speaks of it. But if you pay attention, you'll know it was there, software but real. Have you ever wished something for someone who's no longer with you? Not that they come back, not that they change their mind, just that their morning feels lighter, that their start feels less tight, that there's a small, quiet space where they don't have to brace themselves against the world. You write, this morning I hope it comes to you slowly, gently, like fingers brushing across skin without asking permission. Not because you're still in love, not because you want another chance, but because of all the people you've ever missed, only she made you wish for her to find peace, even if it no longer included you. Some people hurt you, some people you forgive, but then there are people you don't blame. You don't forgive. You just wish they find the kind of calm they never knew how to hold on to. You don't wish her a good day because you know she doesn't live by checklists. She lives by states. She feels her mornings like skin senses wind, like being touched without being touched. And this morning, you just hope she feels like that. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Love everything that happens, for nothing happens to you that isn't woven into nature's grand design." You didn't always believe that. You used to think everything came at the wrong time. But this morning, you are different. You don't try to correct reality. You don't aim your wish to the sky. You just send it straight into a mind you once knew, down to every strand of emotion. You know she might still be curled up in bed, might not check her phone, might be busy, might be with someone else, but you didn't send it to be read. You sent it because you knew, wherever she is, a part of her might feel this morning is not quite usual, not sure why, but lighter, quieter. Because real emotion can still reach people, even if they no longer want to receive it. You don't need her to respond. You don't need a thank you. You don't need a you too. All you need to know is that you didn't let the best part of you get suffocated by something called, "we already broke up." And if she could feel even a trace of it, just a flicker, then you'll know you did the right thing. Not for the relationship, but for yourself. You're not a hero. You're not trying to prove kindness. It's simple. This morning you thought of her, and you didn't hide it. No calls, no long talks, just one quiet message, like a fingertip across skin, leaving no mark, but once felt, never forgotten, because you know, even a soft breeze at just the right moment can make someone pause instead of keep running. And maybe in that moment of stillness, she'll remember. There was someone who never tried to hold her back, only hoped she'd choose to stay. 6. Wake up. You've got storms to unleash, and I want to feel the wind. Some people aren't made for peace. They don't belong to quiet mornings, coffee, and weekend books. They're the kind of presence that shifts the air in a room just by walking in. They don't try, but something inside them moves things, even when no one asked it to. Have you ever known someone like that? Someone whose presence feels like dark clouds before a storm, beautiful, intense, and a warning that something is coming. She was that. Not easy to please, not easy to understand, not easy to hold, but she was real. She lived by emotion, not very rational, but fully alive. And when she went silent, the world seemed to quiet with her. So you wrote, "Wake up. You've got storms to unleash, and I want to feel the wind." Not to pull her back, not to push for a reply, just to remind her, this silence isn't her. She's the kind that stirs things up, the kind that frustrates you, then makes you miss it. Because in the mess she creates, you realize you still feel. Seneca once said, "Peace doesn't come from avoiding storms, but from learning how to stand in them." And you never needed her to be perfect. You just needed her to be herself. Not sweet, not soft, just raw and real, exactly as she was made to be. She doesn't have to be liked by everyone. She just has to feel her own force. You used to love silence, but not her silence, because she wasn't made to be quiet. She was made to fight, to speak, to react, to leave echoes wherever she goes. And you don't need her to be the gentle image that social media worships. You just need her to be real. This message isn't a truce, isn't a pullback. It's a spark. A reminder that someone once saw her radiant, even when she was the storm. Because some men don't search for peace. They look for the one who makes them feel alive. And this morning, you don't know where she is. You don't know how she woke up. But you sent a message, not to control her, but to remind her of who she is. She might see it, scroll past it, pause, or rise. And if there's a storm waiting in her chest, you want to be the one standing there, to feel the first wind. 7. No messages, just this silence, and me still here. Silence doesn't always mean the end. Sometimes it's just the space to see who's still willing to stay. You've been there. A conversation that didn't end with a period, but with a blank space. No argument, no blame, no slamming doors, just nothing left to say. But there's a kind of nothing said that's not the same as nothing left. It's a silence with weight, not empty, just heavy. You check your phone, nothing. No messages, no check-ins, just the screen light reflecting your face. You don't blame, you don't hope, but still, you're there. No texts, no calls. You don't break the quiet. You just exist, like air in the room, unnoticed but suffocating when gone. You send one line, not to pull her back, not to plead, but to prove something. Some people don't disappear. They just stop talking so the other person can listen. No messages, just this silence. And me, still here. You don't need her to read it right away. You don't need a scene. You send it and put your phone down. Not because you believe, but because you've accepted. Some things are meant to be felt, not replied to. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "When others go quiet, hold your dignity. When the world pulls away, don't chase, stand still as part of nature." And now you get it. Not all strength is in action. Sometimes real strength is in doing nothing and still being present. You didn't disappear. You just stopped explaining. You're not trying to prove you still care. You let her feel it, see it, choose it. If anything still lives inside her, it will surface, but only when undisturbed. Silence sometimes is the most honest test, not for her, for you. To ask yourself, are you strong enough to stay without being reassured? She might be moving on, or she might be looking back. You don't know, but you're still here, unmoving, present, not begging. Because if she ever returns, you don't want to be the man who erased himself while waiting. You leave just enough space, not filled with words, not flooded with leftover emotions, just open for her to step into if she chooses. You used to speak too much, tried to convince her with sincerity, tried to explain your feelings, tried to hold on with effort. Now you know, no one should be persuaded to stay. They should want to return on their own. You sit, no action, no overthinking, just breathe and wait. Because sometimes it's the silence that echoes the loudest. No sound, but it reaches. And if she ever truly felt you, she'll know there's still someone not trying to do anything, just choosing to stay. Here's what you always miss. You always think you need answers, that when someone walks away, you deserve to know why. That when they go silent, you're owed an explanation. That if they ever felt something for you, they'd come back if they missed you enough. But that's an illusion. What you truly miss is not their words, but your own stillness. The place inside you where questions no longer keep you up at night. You don't realize silence is not punishment. It's a test. No one should be convinced to stay. No one should be reasoned into returning. The ones who are meant to will choose to stay or choose to come back when you're no longer trying to hold on. And that's what you always miss. Your presence, when you do absolutely nothing, is the most powerful thing you have. Epictetus once said, "We don't control what happens. We only control how we respond." You can't control the text that never came. You can't rewrite the choice of someone who turned away. But you can control one thing. Whether you hold your dignity in this silence. You thought speaking more would make them stay. Thought showing more would make them see you. Thought that if you stopped trying, they'd forget you. Wrong. People forget you only when you disappear from yourself. If you're real, if you stay present, without noise, without begging, without drama, then you're still there. And strangely, that quiet strength is what they remember. Not because you forced it, but because they felt its absence. So if you've ever asked, what should I do to make them come back? The answer is simple. Do nothing. Hold yourself. And if they're meant for you, they'll realize it. If this touches something in you, pause for 10 seconds before you scroll to the next video. Not to like, not to share, but to ask yourself, did I stay true to myself in that relationship? And if your answer is no, then begin again, not with them, with you. And if you need more spaces like this, where inner strength matters more than loud noise, subscribe to this channel, because sometimes just one voice at the right moment can help you hold on to yourself.